Ford is streamed live on our iHeartRadio app. Download it now.
Unseasonably warm temperatures will continue in Palm Beach County. It'll be mostly sunny today and windy with a high of 83 degrees. We do have the threat for an isolated shower as well. Tonight, partly cloudy with isolated rain possible, low of 73 degrees. We start next week off on a warm note. Highs will be near 85 degrees and higher rain chances are in the forecast for Monday.
I'm Storm Team 5 meteorologist Tyler Malden for 1230 WBZT.
This report is brought to you by Unbound. There's nothing like the holiday season seen through the eyes of children. Make this year brighter for a child living in poverty, a child dreaming of an education. Look closer at unbound.org. That's unbound.org.
1230 WBZT. The thoughts and opinions expressed are those of the sponsor and don't necessarily reflect those of the station or iHeartMedia.
He's a pain specialist located in southern Palm Beach County. So if you are somebody that you know is suffering in pain, Dr. Pannozzo is the one you guys need to call. And make that call today because living in pain is no way to go through life. Dr. Pannozzo has been in practice now for more than 49 years. He's treated more than 73,000 patients for pain. He's an expert when it comes to diagnosing the pain, and he has had huge turnarounds. In fact, people living with scoliosis, he has had nearly a 100% turnaround. Lumbar pain as well. If you've got lower back pain, if you're suffering with migraines or flat feet pain, maybe pain in your elbows, your neck, your shoulders, Dr. Pannozzo can help you. And the greatest thing is he can help you without drugs, without surgery, and without having to go through weeks and months of rehabilitation. Give him a call today. Set up an appointment. It's 561-381-5800. Tune into his show Sundays, 11 to noon.
And now, here's this week's edition of the Dr. Pannozzo Sports and Medicine Hour.
He's a pain specialist located in southern Palm Beach County.
Hey, everybody. We're back. And guess what? There's no Dolphin game today, so everyone can hear us in WZZR and WBZT. First, I want to say good morning, Mr. Centauri of AMP2.TV.
Good morning, Les.
Good morning, Linda.
Good morning, Les.
Good morning, Colleen. Good morning, Gio. And good morning, Dr. P. How you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks.
I'm going to give you a number that if you don't call up, that means no one's listening to the show. Stop sending us letters and call us. 800-889-0267. That's 800-889-0267. You know, for the last year and a half, you and I have been talking about what's going on in the world today as far as medicine. I had nothing to do Saturday night. My wife didn't want to go out, so I went and I did some research. And this is very funny, Doc, because you're gonna enjoy this. Knee surgery, according to the New England Journal of Medical Medicine. Ready for this? Knee surgery has little or no value, and that these operations are done that do not have to be done. Haven't we been saying that?
What issue is that?
You know what? I'm going to tell whoever wants to look it up, look for surgeries on the knee that should not have been performed, and you'll pick up the whole thing.
I know, but I want to know from myself.
Oh, I'll give it to you after we leave. New England Journal of Medicine, 2014.
2014?
Yeah, it was done in 2014, and I have the 2015 one here also.
What's the 2015?
The year.
The year. Oh, last year issue.
And I read some more stuff about 2015.
I think there's 12 a year.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. But,
so, you've been saying that for over a year and a half on the show.
Absolutely.
Now, what gives you the credibility, honestly, for people? Well, first of all, before you get started,
I want
to thank Manhattan Cable for allowing us to do our show. And I know in my heart that when you're on Manhattan Cable, you might have to get 3 other people to work in the office.
Well,
preferably some young women if you don't.
Everything I do or talk about is based on the anatomy.
Okay.
You have to know what's there. You have to know what's there before you can talk about it and before you can treat it. So we actually treat these things. Now, when I talk about a knee, we actually treat these and knock that pain down.
Oh.
You don't get operated if you come to my office. Why? Because we know what to treat. The knee is pretty simple, and I can't recall any surgery necessary on a knee. I mean, any, especially a pain. Pain is not in the knee. Pain is outside the knee.
So when someone goes for knee surgery, which I want to bring up somebody that you're taking care of, everyone says, I have the best doctor. My doctor's the biggest doctor you're gonna have. You're gonna have to call up 8 months in advance to get my doctor. My doctor's so big he doesn't even see any patients anymore. So we know somebody who went to the biggest, quote, doctors in Denver, Colorado. I don't know their name, so I'm not going to say it anyhow. And guess who's treating him now? Do you know who's treating him now for his pain? Dr. Pannozzo. Now, give me an example. Okay, so you go to the biggest doctor and both your knees are taken out.
Well, they're not big. They're advertised as big by the hospital.
Right.
That's what keeps that cash flow going into the operating rooms. Remember, these operating rooms are expensive.
Oh, sure.
And they make a lot of money doing that. But remember, these are procedures. And procedures are done in 1 day, 1 hour, 3 hours. That's it.
Right.
Then that surgeon's done with you. But the problem before and after is not a surgical problem. It's a medical problem. So the fact that you have to get operated means you have a failure of treatment. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's the way you have to look at it. It's very logical. And who do they send you to? If you go to an orthopedic surgeon, they send you to a physical therapist for therapy for 6 months. And then you're begging for surgery because they make you worse.
Yeah.
And then you get operated and you're not happy, so they send you back to the therapy.
Well, what's funny about that?
This is not good management. The surgeons have no business doing this. They only do procedures. They do not manage the pain. That's what I do. This is my specialty. And so we know how to manage it because we know where it's from. So we treat it directly and knock that pain down 1 or 2 days. That's all it takes.
And the gentleman I sent you, I wanted to tell you, he played tennis. And he says the first time he's played tennis without any pain, and you gave him a couple little exercises to use. Because I know it, I'm at the gym with the guy, and he said, in his southern accent, "I'll tell you something, Les. Dr. Pannozzo knows his stuff." I wish I would have saw Dr. Pannozzo before I went for all those surgeries.
That's right, but he's an honest guy. Intellectually, he's honest. And most people, they'll say, well, the surgeon knows more than this guy. What does this guy know? I know everything about it. I know not to do surgery, that's for sure.
So a surgeon spends, about 2 years maybe after he graduates learning surgery?
4. Okay,
so you spent how many years?
3.
Well, how many years have you been I can't help it. Folks, Ohio State.
Question.
Doc, you're going to... What was the question, by the way?
I don't know.
Freddie, what was the question I was going to ask?
I have no idea.
The part about getting old is the memory is the first thing that goes. Okay,
No,
so
that's
now...
the second thing.
Yours or mine? What is your name again?
That's the second thing.
Did I pick up a check this week? Okay. What I don't understand is, and this is someone who's an extremely bright guy. He graduated from one of the most prestigious schools, and he went for 2 knee surgeries.
No, he was didn't he go through the academy?
Annapolis.
Yeah.
Annapolis, and spent 5 years, serving his country.
Well, they left the guy with a huge amount of scar tissue under the patella, and there's no surgery for that, so they didn't do anything for him. So there he was, suffering, changed his lifestyle, suffering every day, until you said, why don't you come and see me? He was reluctant because he went to the best surgeon in the world. I mean, there's no such thing. We're all trained to save. You understand? We're all trained to save.
Okay, gentlemen, I got a question.
Did you put your name down for the question?
No, I didn't put it.
Okay,
but
go ahead.
I figure I wait until you guys come up fair. But the bottom line is this: I'm in New York City. I'm shoveling snow, and my back goes out, Doc.
Yep.
Okay. And then I turn on the TV because I got a hot compress on my lower back, and you guys come on the air and tell me, in words that I would understand, what is it that you do exactly?
I don't know if I have words that simple for you to understand.
That's okay.
That's okay. There's intelligent people in Manhattan and smart people in Manhattan.
That is, tell me what you do.
It's the rotation. So when you're shoveling and you're pulling up, it's a rotation along of the spine under pressure because you have a weight in the shovel. So you're pulling it up. And there are 2 things that could happen there. You could have a muscle strain, which is a 3-day deal. If it's over that, then it's more ligament than anything else. And so there are structures in there that you could hurt, the ligaments that are remaining in the spine, and they are that's a sprain. Now, if you get an MRI of that, they'll talk about bulge this, bulge that, which means nothing. So it's essentially a sprain. So what we'd have to do then is find out where it is and then take a special film that we do and treat it directly, and that pain leaves right now.
So you're telling me that, let's say if I go to a doctor on a different incident, and they tell me I have a bulging disc, and I need surgery to remove that bulging disc, which they say is a big lump on the outside of my spine, lower back. That isn't necessarily correct. Is that what you're saying?
No, I would look at the other side. Not the bulge side, but the other side.
Because that's what's creating the bulge.
You have to cause and effect. Remember the cause and effect we always talk about. Right. And Les always brings it up. Cause and
effect, man. I'm a firm believer in that after he fixed my hernia. No,
but the nice thing...
Hernia? I didn't fix your hernia.
No, what'd you fix again? I forgot.
Your hip flexor tendon.
Yeah, Hey.
So
groin! I'm sorry,
the groin injury. But the same thing applies to hamstring injuries, ACLs, all of these
any
injuries.
Any pain at all has to have a source.
And when you to the Manhattan, to the New York area, we're just starting now, but I've been with you over a year, and every week I find more and more doctors are now talking your language. All of a sudden, all of these pain pushers send pills to block out the pain and stuff like that. Surgeries that are unnecessary, and I think Les has a bunch of stats. It's beginning to go by the wayside.
Yeah, this is what we're...
That's true, Freddy.
And we're not talking holistic medicine, ladies and gentlemen.
No. This is basic scientific medicine. Everybody else is not basic. This is basic stuff.
This ain't pills and lotions and creams.
Right. We talk about this for the patient's benefit. I'm a teacher. That's what physician means in Greek. It's a teacher. So I decided we're going to do this. If somebody's offering you narcotics, walk away. They don't have a clue what's wrong with you. You need nothing more stronger than aspirin for any pain in the body. It's an anti-inflammatory, precisely an anti-inflammatory that we want. Narcotics, gabapentin, none of that stuff is. Most of it bothers the brain. I just saw a lady that was taking gabapentin and methadone for a pain in the leg. I said, "Why are you doing this for?" Well, my mother would say, "Bum bead," she can't think.
And my mother would say, "My sugar cup."
You can't think because these drugs are affecting your brain. Right. The aspirin does not affect your brain; it affects the source of the pain. So that's why you want to do it. See, scientific again. So that's where you want to stay, and listen to the program, and you'll get the basic science of all of what we're talking about. Basic science of the knee. Why is it constructed that way? What happens to it? The pain is on the outside of the knee. So we can treat that, easily treatable. But that's not what you hear from the surgeon, see? You hear a higher level of care, which you don't want, you don't need.
Well, I'm going to ask you something. You and I have always, me and Fred have always talked about insurance companies. I'm going to read you. I'm going to read you a figure that's
going to make me sick.
No, that's going to blow you away.
Which is another problem. That's the insurance industry.
Insurance industry, they don't care.
But they just don't understand, or they don't want to understand, or they just refuse to understand that what Dr. Pannozzo's been talking about. Well, how many years now, Doc? 50 years?
Almost 2 years we've been doing this.
Yeah, but you've been in the market now 40, 50 years?
53 years.
53 years.
What he's been talking about, they don't want to pay attention to because it is a cure. You can remove, and if you listen to this program in the near future, we're going to be talking about hamstrings. We're going to be talking about hips replacement and knee replacement, things that are unnecessary.
Well, you understand how the insurance companies work. They have a committee of coders and experts who set policy. The insurance company executives are lay people. So they just handle the money. The medical people, nurse practitioner, what is she? They know about scientific treatment of pain sources. Nothing. They can't know anything. The anesthesiologists do block, and they put you to sleep. They know nothing about pain sources, and they'll admit that because if you see what they do epidurals. Do they help you? No. So why do them? Because that's all they know. That's what they do.
Well, here's an astounding figure. A torn meniscus procedure in the United States was performed 700,000 times a year. Now, you ready for this? And a cost to the insurance company, I want $4 billion. That's B.
That's a $4 billion.
700,000 times a year, and it cost the insurance companies $4 billion with a B. What the heck is going on? You've been talking about this. Wake up, guys.
Well, because the surgeon holds the mantle of the expert. You ever hear of the Ohio State? Because there's only
The
one.
Ohio State, because there's only one. Or
right.
the
So
U.
they talk about the orthopedic surgeon in
Right.
Denver. Who the hell is this guy? I don't even know. But anyway.
But it's $4 billion that's coming out.
Yes.
Thank you,
So-
Obamacare.
What
So
percentage?
when they say something, the insurance companies listen because the committee has approved that already. So it slides right through. So if you do something strange, different than like I do, they'll say, well, we never heard of that. Of course not. You're not an expert. I am the expert.
What percentage of those surgeries do you think is unnecessary, though?
Well, according to the New England Journal of Medical Health, up to 200,000 of those surgeries should not have been done.
No surgery on the cartilage should be done at all.
And-
Meniscus, that's a cartilage, you know. But it's attached to the ligament that goes around. That's where
Right.
the pain is. So it's not the cartilage that's painful. It's the ligament that it's attached to. So you never touch the cartilage,
Right.
ever. You only treat the ligament around it.
But why the insurance company paying out all this money? That's
Because
money in our pockets that they're paying out.
Because the mantle of the expert is in the orthopedic surgery, who trains the nurse practitioner and everybody else on that committee. So they approve anything that surgeon says.
So
Which
insurance...
is wrong. I mean,
Of course
you
it's
shouldn't
wrong.
be doing it. If you want to save money, you don't give the surgeon carte blanche. You just don't do it.
So insurance companies, which I know somebody is listening out there, let me explain something to you. $4 billion. How long would it take you to do $4 billion in what you
Another
do?
53 years.
Huh?
Another 53 years.
Oh, I don't know. I was thinking a year and a half.
Yeah, right.
So the insurance companies that don't take what Dr. Pannozzo does, answer me. I mean, we're all college guys here. Why?
You're looking at this the wrong way. The insurance companies are in business. If they paid out $4 billion
with a B.
Would it be? How much do you think they took in?
They took in
hundreds of billions.
They took in more than $4. So it isn't about the insurance companies. They're just running a business. If you pay it, they take it. The bottom line here is that.
But they're not
the
cured.
public- You understand that, but this is something that the public.
That's another issue.
The public
not
has
cured
to.
is another issue.
Yeah, the public has to get together and say, you know what, enough is enough.
Yeah, the public
what it
has
comes
to.
down
That's
to.
why we have this show here to
That's right.
educate people.
That's
Don't
right. The
get
insurance
operated on
companies
your
aren't
knee,
going to
ever.
cooperate with you. They're in it. If they paid out $4 billion, they probably made $100 billion.
Right.
So, folks, those people where your insurance doesn't cover it, you've got two options. I can give you three, but here's two. Listen to the insurance company, and when I've been taught by experts, the two things you want people to tell you what to do is your money and your life or your health.
Your health.
So if there's been surveys that show that after a person has these operations. Now, this is not me talking. I'm just a guy that's a moderator. I read a lot. I try to understand because I want to bring stuff to the table to show you. Got to think. If I had to pay $1,000 for you to get rid of pain and never come back, isn't that worth it? Screw the insurance company.
Well, the insurance companies are paying $40,000 to $60,000 for a knee treatment.
How about scoliosis? $150,000. It's not, and that's just for the surgery in the operating room.
Well, again, you have people on these committees that say we never heard of that.
They get rid of these people. They're killing the public.
It's not in the literature. It's like saying to me,
I'm getting mad now. This bothers me.
Well, so what? Penicillin. I just developed penicillin, but it's not in the literature. Well, so what? Use it anyway. It's good. You know.
Well, you know,
doesn't have-
scoliosis is a good example.
I mean, just
of that.
because some guy you know at New York University or Harvard or somebody didn't think of it, that make it not legitimate? It's still legitimate. We're all physicians. We're all MDs. We've all got training.
And you got trained by the yo.
And not only is it legitimate, Doc.
And I got trained very, very well.
Yeah.
Not only is it legitimate, it's necessary.
Yeah.
Because of the way our country is going right now. You know, you got Trump and everybody else not being politically correct and the whole 9 yards. You know, the bottom line here is that the medical industry, as good as it has been, is not telling you the complete truth, ladies and gentlemen. That's the bottom line here.
They're using an MRI, which we know. I mean, it doesn't take that doesn't show
Well, the health
the
is a
cause of the
little bit-
pain.
Health is a little bit different because you still have the professors, the well-known doctors who are running things, and they do it by reputation. They do it by articles they write. What article? I mean, if you read the one on ACL, you'll say, what the hell are they treating? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It's another procedure for them.
That's right. And they keep piling on the procedures.
Yeah, so let the doctors handle the doctors. I mean, if they don't shut me up, a lot of people will understand what I'm talking about.
Well, you brought up the word ACL, and I just happen to have a little research here. Okay? 90% of people that have an ACL removed or have problems, which affects a lot of athletes, they will never be able to have the stability that they had before they had the operation. They will not be able to pivot. They will have trouble walking, and naturally they'll have trouble running. Okay? So, you are this big, multi-billion-dollar industry like the New York Yankees, the Giants, and they're saying, you know what? We're going to remove that. You don't have your. I mean,
NFL more than baseball.
NFL. Here we have a coach who was a coach at the NFL, a coach that taught kids how to play and was a catcher. Am I telling the truth about when they had to have that ACL? Did they ever come back the same?
No, only 24% of those kids come back that are useful again.
No, I'll tell you one of the biggest problems they have. Once they open that knee up, they have to take the patella, the kneecap off, and it hangs over here. And then they work inside. And then they have to bring that patella back and sew it in. So what happens underneath that is like your friend.
Mm-hmm.
Scar tissue. You have no motion. After a while, you have no motion whatsoever. I spent all my time just undoing all that. So you have motion back. So our mantra is what we have is rehabilitation is based on increased mobility, not on bracing, not on surgery, which causes a scar. Remember, what holds you together after the surgery is the scar tissue. That's your worst enemy, because when you have mobility problems in the knee, the shoulder, the hand, the foot, you don't want scar tissue anywhere near that. And that's how we approach it. And so we preserve the motion that's created before we got to it. If you know what I'm talking about.
A funny story I never told you is, you know how I met the gentleman that I sent you from Annapolis? He had on his knees Tommy Copper, and I went over. I went over and I said, "Hi, my name is Les May." I introduced himself. I said, "Does that stuff work?" He said, "I don't think so." I said, "What has it done for you?" He said, "Well, it caused me a rash." I said, "Why do you wear it?" He said, "I don't know." I said, "I'm going to tell you about something. I don't want to hear about no doctors." And we went on, until one day he came up to me and said, "What's the name of that guy?" I said, "Dr. Anthony Pannozzo." Comes back to me the next day, and he says to me, "Hey, let me tell you something. Don't ever show an MRI to this guy. But let me tell you, this guy knows what he's doing. He explained things to me. He hasn't played tennis. How long was it? A year maybe he didn't play tennis?
Oh, a long time, 2 years.
Yeah, he played tennis for the first time. He played golf, and we know, hey, golfers, I'm going to talk to you next. You gave him his life back because he loves to play tennis with his wife."
I did, and he's a very nice fellow, too.
Great
very
guy.
Active, but
very smart.
But the ideas that people have when they have a pain, remember, these are only ligaments. Even the back pain, a low back pain that people can't treat, it's only a ligament that big, that's all. About that high, that long. That's
maybe about 2 inches in case people didn't see it.
That's all it is. 2 inches,
well,
inch and a half by a quarter inch high.
I had a conversation with a kid that had Tommy John surgery. I don't want to use his name.
No, don't use any names.
He's pitching for the Phillies, right? And the scar is like an inch and a half.
Yeah.
And what he told me is that they no longer open anything up. Now what they're doing is that they have a machine that looks inside, like an X-ray machine. And again, I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling you what he said. And they go in that way. They put a hole in there, and they go in with these instruments to remove, change, whatever.
Well,
to stay away from scar tissue.
Don't do it. There is no rationale to that. I treat elbows. I can tell you anything about the elbows there is. We'll give you a normal range of motion, pain-free. And you don't need a surgery. It's a shot or two, and that's all.
Well, there's a part 2 to this story.
Go ahead.
He's not Harvey. He's not a Mets pitcher. He's not a super ace pitcher or player. This kid's in the minor leagues. He had it done locally in Tampa. Now, Doc, there's a difference between somebody like Dr. whoever his name is in California and a local doing the same procedure, no?
No.
You don't think
The
so?
anatomy's the same.
I bet you his career's over. I will bet you this kid won't come back to pitch.
Well, according to, I got another
The
statistic.
result's the same, though. They're denying the
Okay.
fact of what it actually is.
Exactly.
And it's a little piece of scar tissue which is softened by a steroid, and that's it.
Well, according
You don't
to,
need anything else.
and if you don't, look up Tommy John surgery and read the whole article. Just don't read the good stuff. It's a fairly long article. If you look it up, it's about 5-6 pages. I took the time to read it, so I didn't look stupid.
Did you read the article from Dr. Parks from California
No.
that he wrote? Look it up.
All right.
He's going to give you the different spin on this thing. You would think that he cures cancer the way he wrote this paper.
Well, this other doctor who wrote, he said, what people don't realize is you only hear the good stuff about Tommy John. So every
That's right.
3 people that come in, one person who is an athlete never plays ball again.
But see, those people would recover anyway.
Yeah.
If they recovered from that surgery, they would recover anyway without the surgery. They're just that kind of person. You take the ones who have the surgery, they're inundated with propaganda that they can't get better, but the treatments are no good. So they're only left with surgery. You see how this works?
Gotcha.
If the treatments were good, you would not have any surgery. So surgery is a failure of good medical treatment.
Yeah.
I love that
Yeah,
saying. I love that saying.
Yeah.
It's true.
Well, you see, what people also don't realize is if your child has to go in for scoliosis, I'm just bringing this up because I have the statistics in front of me, and they charge $156,000. I would say, if I'm right, about 90% of those people have copays. Well, if your copay is 20%, because a lot of people are doing $5,000 because they don't want to pay a lot of money, 20% of it, that's almost $30,000. Very few people that have $30,000. You could cure how many scoliosis patients for $30,000 on a copay?
Quite a few.
Yeah.
300?
Okay. Now, if anyone out there is skeptical, you could do one of 2 things. You could either go up, if it's your child or yourself or someone you know, go up and just hit scoliosis. Everyone has a computer now, and read what they say about scoliosis. And then after you read that, go to Pannozzo, PANNOZZO.com.
.tv.
.tv, and Mr. Santori, who's sitting right here, has all those on the website. You could look and see people, how they were before they came in to see. No, it's not going to be cured in one shot. I'm going to tell you right now, scoliosis can't be cured in one shot. But you could see after that one shot how the back, the spine is actually moved.
Turns over.
And you can see the scar tissue that he's talking about. MRIs don't show scar tissue, am I
No,
correct?
they're not read for that.
Okay. So if people who have seen you, see, here's what I'm really bugged about today because I looked at something that came back to me with insurance. I went for blood tests, and the doctor charged $4,000. The insurance company is going to pay him and so on. How do you charge $4,000 for blood tests? How do you get away with, just like what you said?
They get away with it because we tolerate it. Because they're the doctor, and we don't say no. We don't look for solutions.
And the insurance companies, they're worse.
And you know what I love is when they say, let me get a second opinion, they go in, they argue with Dr. Pannozzo. You can't be right because the other doctor said something else. So why are you there? If you choose to go down that road, that's your choice. You have choice.
Well, the funny thing is, I mean, it's really hilarious. I mean, somebody will come in with 5 orthopedic surgeons, and they all say the same thing. And they come to me and I say something completely different.
Oh, yeah.
And they say, well, why do these 5 say that and you're saying this? Hey, what do you want? Try it. The thing about it is they're all trained the same. So you go to 5 surgeons, you're going to get a surgical opinion. If a surgeon sends you for an MRI, you're going to get a surgical read from it. And that's just the way it is. It's in baseball talk now, I'm giving you. So you have to know all that. So when you come to me, you're coming because it's a failure of treatment or you didn't like surgery or something. But let me have an opinion and let me work on it. Now, if I say I can do this today, you should say, yes, do it. because there's no downside to it. You either improve or you don't, right then and there.
And here's something.
When you go for surgery, there is no such thing as maybe it or maybe not, because once you have a surgery, you've had it.
You're committed.
That's it. That you have a scar now.
75% of people who have gone for back surgery have never recovered the same after the surgery.
Absolutely right. Yep.
Why is that?
Well, because you have an inflammatory change that goes on between the bones where the pain originates. And so we have to find out where that is, and then we knock that inflammation down, especially when you get a cage on there. You have screws all over the place. Right. And the inflammation that goes on, the repair process, is painful. And so I have to find out where that is, go in and treat it, get under the bone structure, and we do this. I mean, it's not a problem. We do it.
So now let me explain to people that, of course, now that we're on Manhattan Cable, I want all those new people. I'm going to have to repeat the same thing again because it's important.
No problem.
Okay. What I want everyone to understand is that the medicine that you give is an FDA-approved medicine, right?
Oh, yeah. Just an anti-inflammatory.
Okay, now, it goes out of your system in how long?
9 hours.
Now, for all those wonderful, wonderful men that spend a lot of money getting a guy for $40 million, if you look at the list of things that you cannot put into the person's body, what he gives is not one of them.
Correct. And the contracts are like $218 million.
Okay. So you're getting a guy that you're spending all that kind of money for, and what he does not do anything for performance.
No, it does not.
It helps
performance enhancement.
to get rid of that. It's better than what they're doing.
Well, the performance comes because the pain is down.
Right.
So you can perform now.
Right.
Yeah, but
it's not performance enhancement.
It's still up to these players to make a decision to seek medical care. They're not bound to go to the orthopedic surgeon who's in charge. They can go off on their own.
Well, let me ask you, is that true?
Well, but before I answer that, there are two sides of the coin here, Doc. A waitress in Boca who can't walk because of her hips, and they keep telling her, here, take this medication. And if it's been years, and there are questions that people have written to us about. They can't walk. These are normal people, waitresses, waiters. Then you have the athletes. But I'm talking about everyday people, everyday pain that is not being explained correctly. What choices are we giving these people?
None, because they're going to general practitioners or internists who have no idea of what causes the pain.
That's
or
right.
how to treat it.
And that's the shame of it.
It's not covered in medical school. Believe me, you think it would be. It is not. It's a highly specialized business. And so it fell to the orthopedic surgeons to run that whole show, and they're doing a miserable job of it. Too much surgery.
That's right. And these people...
So I come along and I have a specialty of that, and all based on the anatomy, design and function, and sources of pain, and reproducibility, predictability. All of that is based in what we do. A very, very scientific approach. You can't beat it. I mean, I don't care who you are. You can't beat it.
And you can't work as you're in pain. You can't earn a living.
No.
And that means you can't pay to buy more of these pills. They're just shoving down you more and more pills. Where's the solution to that? There is no solution.
Well, what you just said is so correct. If you're a waitress, you have to be on your feet all day long and carry trays. We saw one today.
There's a question in there from a U.S. postal worker.
Yeah.
She's on her feet 8 hours a day.
Well, postal workers are covered on insurance. So
good, because there's a question in there. She asked that.
Yeah, so
it's a good question.
Yeah, they can make an appointment and get their coverage is pretty good.
Okay, so all you postal workers, and I've seen them trying to get up on that truck because that truck is high. You could call Dr. Pannozzo after our show is over at 561-381-5800. That's 561-381-5800. Talk to the man. Let me tell you what he does that nobody does. He answers his own phone, and you know why he answers his own phone? Because he believes that, in fact, not only does he answer his own phone, he does everything. And the reason why is because he does something that how many times have you gone in with a pain? Anybody? And the doctor said, where do you think it came from? I don't know, doc. That's your job.
I tell you, right?
He told me.
Well, that's one of the things we offer.
Which is amazing.
Especially in the lower back pain. When we do our special film and our examination, we'll know what's bothering you. The film does not tell you that. We show it to you on the film what's bothering you. And then I construct a scenario of how you got it. Some of it's based on a fall 20 years ago. And you can say it never happened.
Or
but
pulling a
there's-
trunk out of the car.
But there's the evidence right there. And if you know how to do it. So that's what you want to know. Why and where is it bothering me, and what can we do to correct it right now? And I'll offer that to you right then and there. And then after the treatment, what do we do?
Well, first of all,
After the treatment,
you cannot, the word is not, leave his office until you are 85% better and the next day 100%.
Well, what we ask you to do is
Recreate the pain.
Recreate the pain if you can. And I said, make it hurt if you can. Nobody ever asked me that. I said, well, of course. I am a collectible. In other words, if you're not satisfied,
Wait.
I'm going to work again to
Found out how to
satisfy
make a
you.
lot of money. We'll get the Pannozzo card, and we'll make it a limited edition. We'll sell them for $1,000. You bring in that card, and we'll take care of you. and we have a little punch card. After five...
What is he saying? What is he talking about?
He's drinking too much juice. But my son was in here a couple of weeks
Oh, right.
ago.
Tell him about
Ronnie,
that.
And you created the pain, and he was in pain
Yeah.
that whole day until we went to see you the next day. So I called him yesterday. I said, how is what Dr. Pannozzo did for you? Now, mind you, Pannozzo did not put a shot into Gio. He did
Right.
not. He did something different. And and he tells me that he was able to work all week, pain-free. All week he's been able to work. He says, Dad, I think Dr. Pannozzo's onto something. So I said to him, Gio, how many shows have you watched? He says, yeah, I know. But this is the first time that it's affected me. Now, this is a 19-year-old kid.
Yeah.
I didn't tell him what to say.
No.
You did create the pain. He was in agony when you did your thing in the office. And he has...
And no shot.
And no shot because he found the problem.
Yeah.
He found the problem. No shot.
I re-engineered it.
Yeah.
And he says, Dad, this is unbelievable. I don't have any back pain.
He designed that wedge.
And he has different sizes.
Yeah, of course he
I
does.
noticed
Different
that. He
sizes,
took out all these
different
different
widths.
wedges. And I went, hey, wait a minute.
You see, what people and all you people in New York, I know you're a lot of people in New York are skeptical about things. What people have to understand is, this is a man that did one thing and one thing only. Medical doctor, graduate of the Ohio State University that studied musculoskeletal. How many doctors you know understand the musculoskeletal? He has a machine that's three-dimensional as opposed to an MRI. He sees and finds out. A lot of people say, gee, I have to wait so long for him because he takes history. We could tell him I said after 12, Doc.
After 12, because he's on the air. And
He's on the air, everybody. He can't answer the phone because we'll get sued by the FCC.
Yeah, he's got to wait until after the show.
So
but thank you for
please.
calling. He'll call you back. And
Yeah,
give that number again.
I'm not going to give it again.
Give that number again.
Okay, 561-381-5800. I just got a dirty look from Colleen, our producer, that says do not call
That's
until
okay.
after 12.
After 12, because he can't pick up the phone. But I'm thankful that they are. The message is getting out there. That's okay. Let that phone ring. We'll put it out in the other office.
You see, what I've learned being on this planet 73 years, that pain, there's nothing worse than pain. And what he taught me, which I never knew, is narcotics works on your brain. It doesn't work on the problem, because that drug doesn't know where the cause of the pain came from.
No drug works on the problem
Right.
except
It's on the
aspirin
brain.
and the steroid. Remember the steroid? It's a
Right.
class of drug.
And also remember, the scoliosis treatment,
Oh,
the price of that deal does not include the psychological that you go
oh God, yes.
through, the depression you go through. And we know
Especially when
people
you're
in our
young.
family who went through years of that stuff, and it's horrible what they do. Horrible.
Well, Linda told me that they had to wear that cage. I mean, my God, growing up at 15 years old with a cage in your back,
Oh,
you can't bowl, you can't play volleyball.
Your life
with
is
the
over with those
I
things.
saw a 15-year-old had 9 screws right here.
Oh God,
Can
right
you
in the
see
neck.
it right there?
Yeah, right in the neck.
I mean, you can't believe it. I was nauseated. I said, what the hell?
Well, you know what it is? He sounds like a rough guy, but he's one of the most compassionate people you've ever seen. You know, if you can't afford it, can I say this, Doc? If you can't really afford a scoliosis and your kid is in pain, what are you going to charge him, Doc?
We're going to charge you.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
That's a pay for.
Oh, I got great insurance. I got a $20,000 deductible. I have to go through $20,000.
Hey, listen, it's going to
Remember-
be a drop in the bucket to what they would
Let me
charge.
talk about this. The younger a person is, the easier it is
Yeah.
to treat and the less expensive. No surgery is involved. No prolonged therapy involved. Nothing. You don't even have to exercise every day. I take care of all of it for you. The younger you are, the easier it is to treat. That means from 20 under easy to treat. 20 after that gets a little bit harder. Well, main thing is you're working. It's hard to get away, hard to get treated.
Well, the lady you treated from England.
But well, we had a lady from England, but
that was a huge.
But so remember that now, if you have a child, there's no surgery involved. Nothing except exercise and a little heat in the right spot. It has to be in the right place. So we know where that is. And I did the research on it. We treated a lady from England. I mean, if you look at that, and we do it every day.
They got to go to that website.
And I had a 24-year-old girl, a working girl, and the mother called the insurance company, and they said, yes, we will cover all that. Well, when she came in for the treatment, somebody in that committee said, well, we're not paying for that. The girl had her scoliosis reduced by half. It took me 5 days to do it, and they refused to pay it.
Because they're idiots. I'm saying right now.
And you say, what is wrong with these people? Just talk to the patient. The patient came in. She wasn't told to come in. She came in on her own. She took the treatment because she benefited. So why not pay for it?
And this is
where
permanent.
the insurance companies are not helping you. They're not helping you at all, because you have a so-called person of so-called importance on the committee who says, well, it's not in the literature. Well, so what? I write literature. Who am I? Some plumber? I'm as qualified as anybody in any medical school to write an article.
Actually, a plumber charges more than you do.
Plumbers love me because I put them back to work.
What about the psyche of that girl, 24 years of age, and he's able to
gives her life back.
He gives her life back.
Yeah.
And you're an insurance company who, because they don't understand what you do, thinks that they can say, we're not going to pay for it. So then they're going to hurt her. They're not helping her.
Well, and we've invited insurance companies down here to watch what he does. We're not ashamed of what he does.
They can come down here and right on set.
Yeah. Come right down and visit him.
We don't hide from anybody.
No.
Because their object is not to pay for your health care, but to make money.
That's right.
That's their object.
That's the problem. Scoliosis, the way they do it, you're going to be in that hospital for life.
It's like that specialist, whoever it was, about the 2 shots in the neck. These are specialized shots. These are based on where the diagnosis is, what causes the pain. We reduce that pain on that one day. And yet they said, well, it's not in the literature. Well, who the hell cares?
Who wrote the literature?
Who wrote the literature? Somebody that doesn't even
think. An anesthesiologist?
And most of it you can't use anyway. Oh, don't tell me about the anesthesiologist.
No, when you showed me the letter, I couldn't believe it.
Their literature is so bad because they don't do musculoskeletal work. They do blocking. It's a big difference. When I talk about the big difference, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about because we're all doctors, but we're not all the same.
Mm-hmm. Well, I got the best story for the people in New York. I want a lady who's very well known here in South Florida as a DJ. Came in to see Dr. Pannozzo because she said she was going the following day to get a shot in her ankle for severe pain that she was having, and then she would have to wear a boot and take some medication. I said, just go and see the guy. I'm telling you this like it was yesterday because I couldn't believe this. He said, just walk up and down. Walk up, walk back. He said, it's not your ankle. So I'm going like this to myself. I said, how the hell could he know what the hell it is? Just the ankle. I said, the girl's walking up. Looks fine to me. He said, I'm going to show you what it is.
That's precisely the point. She looked fine.
Thank you. It looked fine to me. And he said, it's not your ankle. He said, well, my podiatrist said he took out, what's that dirty word again? Oh, MRI. And he said, it's my ankle. That was 1.5 years ago. It was in her back. Guess what? No boot. Now, I don't know if anyone knows how painful a shot in the ankle is or a shot in the heel. That's freaking painful, okay? 1.5 years, no boot, and she swears, she sends everyone to him. Now, that doesn't show on the literature, so you go to a podiatrist, and he's treating for an ankle which wasn't the cause of your pain. Folks, listen to me. It was not the cause of the pain. It's going to come back every day because that's where the pain emanated from.
That's right.
Hey, you like that word, emanated?
I like it.
I've been studying all day for this day.
Source.
All I have is the source of the pain. Okay, so explain.
Read something.
No, this is more exciting today because I'm upset with the insurance company.
That's a good point, Les. people could look in your foot, and that's not what the problem is. Like the hamstring, I'm still amazed about the hamstring stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in the sports arena for many years.
Yeah.
Do you know how many players I've had because of hamstring injuries? I looked at the NFL list yesterday.
It's the number one injury.
Turf toe, hamstring injury. All of these things are coming from the hips, from the waist.
Well, there's several places for that.
But they're all treating the hips. Even David Wright.
Well, they're not treating anything. They're putting on a.
That's right. They're going in the wrong direction.
On the bench.
They
wrong
go,
direction.
and they're not playing, and they're on the bench. And
Yeah, if you have a hamstring injury, come and see me. I'll put you right back out there. Unless you want to rest. You want to rest for 3 weeks? Okay, do it.
And you know, I'm going to offer everybody, if you have nothing to do one day, Monday through Friday, go over to Dr. Pannozzo's office at 16244 Military Trail and just sit down. Don't write your name on the thing. Just sit down and say, "Oh, how long you been coming here? Did he help you? My God, you put your name down so fast that you erase the other people's names ahead of you." I got to read some questions from Atlanta.
Yeah, read some questions.
Elsie Doc from Atlanta writes, "I heard your show at 11 o'clock a.m. on Monday at 1100 a.m. Monday at noon. I was surprised how you guys talk about taking care of pain out of the body without drugs or operations. It was the first time I heard the show and wanted to know how long you have been treating people this way and if you work on children as well."
Yeah, any age has the same pain. Any age.
All right.
And,
So any child that has pain, you can take care of.
Oh yeah, it's 53 years I've been doing this.
Wow.
That's probably 75,000 patients or more, maybe 77.
Well, yeah, we got to tell Leah to do the commercial.
Yeah, she's
going
behind
up.
the times.
I have to wait a while because he keeps going up every month. Okay, the
other thing is that if you're a coach and you're coaching children, and I did this for many years, I strongly advise that if your player is hurt, come and see Dr. Pannozzo. Second opinion, first opinion, fourth opinion, I don't care what opinion. Come and see him. You're going to be remarkably amazed at some of the things that he could do for kids.
Oh.
Remarkably amazed. And I'm telling you this as a parent and as a coach.
Well, if you look and see who the team physicians are, they're usually chiropractors.
Yes.
And they're usually friends of the coach.
Yes.
99% of the time.
The coach is not doing his job if he doesn't investigate what's available for his little kids as he's in charge of.
That's right.
I mean, somebody went to a trade school and he's gonna take care of your kid? Are you out of your mind? Don't do that.
Well, I've seen coaches.
It's not good thinking. Coaches have to take responsibility to get the best they can for their players.
And for the child that's playing.
That's what I'm talking about. The child who's playing, it's under their responsibility to make sure they don't get hurt, and if they do, to get them fixed. And what about the exam? They should have a good exam.
Yes.
A nurse can't do that.
That's right. You could find the injury before it occurs, Doc.
Well, you have to know what causes a pain and examine for that. That's the way we approach this thing. We don't go from zero. We go from a high level of intuition so that we know how to examine and we can pick out a pain. And you could do it in a gang, 10 of them at a time.
Hey, listen to this one.
If you know how to do it, you can do it.
Larry from Miami writes, "Oh, look at this. Heard your show on the 94.3 iHeart Radio app." Wow, so they got them on the app too. I love it.
Everything's on the app.
And he wanted to know if you have written to different institutions that want to put rods in young children. I think you would offer not only a better physical solution, but a psychological solution to those that go through rods for scoliosis. There are many institutions that offer rods and hooks to pull the spine into place in pain. Horrible, horrible, horrible. There has been no better way than the Pannozzo way. Wow.
Oh, who was that?
I don't know. Larry, if you might have treated someone or their child in Miami.
Here's the deal. You got to start with the pediatrician and the general practitioner. They are the ones referring for the surgery.
Okay.
If they would not refer for a surgery, you wouldn't have the surgery, the rods and things. If they would refer to the medical doctors who could take care of this, then they would be eliminated from any kind of surgery. Anybody under 20 has no business being operated at all for anything. They're not grown yet. And especially scoliosis, that's all treatable stuff. You have to know how to do it. I mean, they say, well, I went to the therapist, so what? They don't know how to do it. Chiropractors don't know how to do it.
Oh, chiropractors.
I did research on it. That's why I'm so knowledgeable when I talk, and I'm definitely telling you I know how to do it.
And you know
If
what?
you don't take advantage of it, there's something wrong with you.
If anyone wants to go for elbow surgery, I will give you 5 people's names, and you can call them up because they said they would be more than happy, who came in with where they couldn't even tie their tie.
Yeah,
And
that's why we say that Tommy John surgery should not be.
No, I mean,
we
it's-
actually treat elbows, and the surgeon doesn't. He does. Remember, they do procedures. Don't take anything away from them.
no.
They do great procedures.
Yes.
If you need it. If you
Yeah.
don't need it, get away from that. You don't. We got to change the perception of the public. This is what we have this program for. That not everything that the surgeon tells you is so written in
Stone.
God's words. It's just not true.
Well, God, that was the 10 Commandments.
Yeah.
There was the people. A lot of people don't know this. Wait, this is my
Moses,
holidays.
wasn't he an orthopedic surgeon?
No, a lot of people don't notice there were 12 commandments. Moses dropped 2. That's how it became 10
I
commandments.
saw the movie too. Hey, listen, and to answer Larry in Miami, yes, we did write to a famous hospital here in Florida.
Yes.
There was a commercial that used to run. It bothered the heck out of me. We did write.
Guess what?
The commercials.
It's not on
were
the air
on
anymore.
Yeah. Just to
They're
have
still
that.
doing the surgery, though.
They're still in surgery, but not
Yeah,
doing
but
the
they're not
commercials.
doing the commercials. I can't stop. If there are people that are going to go in and take their kids to do that surgery, Doc, there's nothing I can do about that.
I think the people are enamored by the name.
Yes.
They're
And you
enamored.
know who I'm talking about.
Oh, of course I do. They're enamored by the name, and they're enamored by the thing. But what they're doing is stop being enamored by the beautiful offices with the granite tops and the 4 nurses walking around. Because you know what? That doesn't cure the problem.
No. And that
That's
kid,
superficial.
That kid walking down the hall with the IV and those rods in his back, that's the problem.
Yeah. When you know you could go into an office where the doctor, look, the reason why I do the show, ladies and gentlemen, is for one reason. I've seen what this man does, and you know what? I'm one of those people that believe if someone could do something without going in for surgery, because, there are so many reports about the surgery. The surgery went well, but the patient died. A staph infection.
That's an old joke.
Yeah, but no, think about it. It's a no joke. That's true. There's a lot of disease around there. Hospitals got to move quick. Medicines are given that to a patient. My doctor said to me, I will do everything I can with your Crohn's disease not to put you in a hospital.
That's right. He's
They
not
don't
gonna
want it. They're
try to
afraid
kill
of
you.
all the things that could happen. So if you know all that going into it, why just go in and see him? What's going to...
Because that's the way people have been trained. People
know.
believe that the surgery is the
But
only way.
there's always something happening.
That's new.
Now,
New stuff.
I'm treating patients for Dr. Rosenblatt, who is an internist, and he'll take you off your narcotics.
Oh, that's great.
And how he does it is he needs backup. I mean, if you have the pain, he's got a substitute, but he refers them to me for treatment. So we take care of the backache so he can drop the narcotics down to nothing, and it works out. I don't do anything with drugs myself.
Oh, so
No
what-
prescriptions. And so it's a nice combination with Dr. Rosenblatt. I mean, it's really terrific. That's the way you want to go.
He's a Jewish guy. That's why he works out with I know the guy. Now, the beauty that people don't realize is a lot of medications that people get more hooked on drugs that are given to them by doctors. My daughter's first husband, who had back pain 15 years ago, died of an overdose because of back pain. He went for 3 surgeries. It didn't work, and he was taking, I don't even know the drugs, and died from an overdose.
That's well known now because even the high school kids are taking the prescriptions that the parents get.
Yeah.
And you got to watch. No narcotic is going to help you. None. They can't help. People, why they prescribe it is because that people would say, well, you got to treat the pain. You can't have people suffering with the pain. Well, and I've lived through this. I've been at this 53 years.
Holy my God, you were good.
What they're missing is the fact, where is the pain?
Yeah.
And why are you not treating
Cause.
Well, they're talking about a pain as an entity.
Mm-hmm.
See, a pain is just a symptom. It's what you feel, but it's not telling you where it's from. And that's what's missing in the pain programs that people have. They'll say, oh, you have a pain, here, take these narcotics.
That's the missing link.
That's the missing thing. They don't
Right.
know what they're treating, see? So I always say, well, what are they actually treating? They don't know.
They don't know.
That's a missing link. He's right.
See, that's why you have to walk away from those doctors. You can reform these physicians. You can improve them, but they have to know that you're serious and you're not going to take the bull. See, I didn't use the other word.
Oh, I'm so happy to use that other word, Doc. Colleen said, no, Colleen said,
He put his finger on the dump button.
Yeah, he was warned, right, Colleen?
We got a couple of minutes
Okay,
left.
so I just want to let everyone know, I hope you enjoyed the show. And
We didn't get to any questions.
I got 2, Doc. I mean,
that's
when you're on a roll, Doc, I don't interrupt you with the questions
We will
right now.
answer the questions again next week.
Okay, next week, Doc, I will be here, but Freddie will be here. And we'll make sure that these questions are answered. Freddie, we got 26 pages of questions.
Jeez.
I want to thank everyone. Have a Merry Christmas, a happy and healthy New
Hold on,
Year.
give out the number.
And the number I want to give you to call Dr. Pannozzo, just give it 2 minutes before the show's over. 561-381-5800. Never have pain anymore, folks. Never have pain. 561-381-5800.
You know why I answered the phone? You didn't say.
I know why you answered the phone, because you wanted to hear.
Tell
what
us
a
why you
person
answered
had.
the phone, Doc.
Go ahead. You got a minute to go. Don't laugh. Just talk.
He's hyper.
Because pain is a very personal thing to you. And if you want the doctor to talk to you about it. If I can help it, I will tell you. If I can't, I won't tell you that. And we'll tell you if we have something good to offer you, and we'll tell you if we don't. And then it's up to you to make an appointment.
Mm-hmm.
But at least you're talking to the guy who does it.
That's right.
I take my own pictures too, my X-rays.
Yes. Because
Do
he
the own
wants.
exam.
He
There's
wants.
nobody in the office but me. No technicians of any kind.
And there's a reason for that.
And it's because it's a very personal to you. Your pain is very personal to you. If you want to get rid of it, you want somebody to work with you very close, to understands it, and then treats it.
Here comes that music, Doc. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again. I hope we're helping you, because you know what? We see a lot of patients come in every day that are brand new. So God bless you all. Thank you, Colleen, for a great show. Freddie, I have 2. Thank you, Linda. Everybody out there. 561-381-5800. Never have pain anymore. Thank you.
Or somebody that you know is suffering in pain, Dr. Pannozzo is the one you guys need to call. And make that call today, because living in pain is no way to go through life. Dr. Pannozzo has been in practice now for more than 49 years. He's treated more than 73,000 patients for pain. He's an expert when it comes to diagnosing the pain, and he has had huge turnarounds. In fact, people with living with scoliosis, he has had nearly a 100% turnaround. Lumbar pain as well. If you've got lower back pain, if you're suffering with migraines or flat feet pain, maybe pain in your elbows, your neck, your shoulders, Dr. Pannozzo can help you. And the greatest thing is he can help you without drugs, without surgery, and without having to go through weeks and months of rehabilitation. Give him a call today, set up an appointment. It's 561-381-5800. Tune into his show Sundays, 11 to noon.
And now, here's this week's edition of the Dr. Pannozzo Sports and Medicine Hour.
He's a pain specialist.